All right, my friend, welcome. In this video, we're gonna cover the best diet for men. My name is Dr. Anthony Balduzzi. I'm the founder here at the Fit Father Project, the leader in health and fitness for busy fathers and men over 40. And in this video, we're gonna cover all the best foods you should be eating, the proper meal timing, and how to make this healthy eating stuff simple and sustainable for you, your busy schedule, and your family. We're gonna cover all of that in this video. I know you're gonna learn a ton. Let's dive on in. FitFatherProject.com. All right, so before we start looking at the foods themselves, I want to talk a little bit about the big picture principles of what makes the best diet for men. First and foremost, outside of all the complicated details that we could get into, the best diet has to be one that you can actually stick to. There are so many weight loss diets out there that are just way too restrictive. The whole never eat a carb again plans, or the kind of plans where you have to eat every 2 hours on the dot and pack 15 meals when you're going to work every day. As often as we want to try to do these really restrictive, complicated plans because we think they're going to work better, ultimately that's going to lead to failure, because if we can't sustain the diet, it's not an option for us. We'll fall off track. So instead, we need to think about simple and sustainable from the get-go. So the best diet, and the one we're going to cover here with some of these simple foods, is something that's going to be easy for you, without a lot of cooking, without a lot of prep, something that you and your family can start using today. So that's the first factor. The second thing is it has to be affordable. I don't want you to have to go buy like $300 superfoods and get all these weird ingredients all over the place that are hard and complicated to get. We're talking about good, unprocessed, everyday foods you can get at your local grocery store that are easy, delicious, and simple, and there are no crazy ingredients involved. That's the next principle. And the third one I would add is that it's properly portioned, that it keeps you full, but it still has the right number of calories for you to reach your goals. Whether you're at a point right now in life where you want to lose some fat, get rid of the belly fat and really tone up, or if you want to build more muscle, we need to make sure that you're eating the proper number of calories, because as much as the right foods matter, calories matter too, so we need to factor that into the diet. So to dive straight into it, the way I like to teach the best diet concepts to men is that there are three main categories of macronutrients. And what macronutrients are proteins, carbs, and fats. And when assembling the perfect diet, we also need to look at the kind of foods we're eating in each of these categories. And the first tip I give guys who are coming and they want to start eating healthier is we need to pick your go-to foods in each of those categories. Your go-to proteins, carbs, and fats. And I've laid some of my favorite go-to foods out here on the table to give you some ideas. So for example, to start with proteins, what are your favorite proteins? What are some healthy proteins that you can base some of your meals around? So for me, wild salmon is something that I love. So I get these cans of wild salmon, and this is incredibly convenient because I don't need to cook it. And if I'm on the go, I can just take this wild salmon and, as you're gonna see, combine it with some of these healthy carbs and the vegetables and healthy fats, and I have an easy meal. So wild salmon, here I have some grass-fed steak, I actually have some pork here, I have some sardines, and I have some pasture-raised eggs. So these are some of my favorite foods. It doesn't matter what yours are. I just want you to start to think, and maybe even if you're watching this video, I challenge you to get a list out, write what your favorite proteins are. Get those down, get at least 3 of them. Then we're gonna identify your favorite healthy carbs. Now, your healthy carbs are something that you can actually include in your diet. And you do not have to cut out all carbs if your goal is to live healthier and lose weight. You just have to eat the right kinds of carbs in the right portions. And that's what we help guys do here at the Fit Father Project. In fact, our program members, we have guys that eat bread every single day and still lose up to 100 pounds. These are some of our heavier guys that really need to lose a lot of weight. But the point of me sharing you this is that carbs can be a part of your meal plan. And in fact, it's a better way because it means your diet plan is not restrictive. So for me, I have some sprouted brown rice. This is a great carb that I put it in my rice cooker, and I have this around and ready to go. I have some Ezekiel bread, which is a really good sprouted bread. This is a lot better than your run-of-the-mill whole wheat bread. And I have some sweet potatoes. These are something that I can throw a couple of these in the oven, and I have it ready to go throughout the week. And now I hope you're starting to see why we're covering things this way, because when we know where our go-to proteins are and we've cooked them in bulk. So for example, let's say we cooked some chicken breasts in the oven, we put the sweet potatoes in the oven too, and we did some brown rice. We're starting to assemble the pieces of the perfect diet. And we're talking about foods right now. We're also going to get into meal timing and combinations in just a second. But again, this is just to get your gears turning on what's going to work best for you. So what are your healthy go-to carbs? Are they things like berries, like the yam sweet potatoes, the rices, the breads, whole wheat pastas, like things like that? Start to think about that. Next, we need to pick our healthy fats. Fats are important, and fats are incredibly beneficial for increasing your energy, decreasing inflammation, helping you feel full. So for me, some of my favorite healthy fats are avocados. This is a great thing that you can combine with any of these proteins and carbs, and they're fantastic. As well as your healthy oils, things like olive oil or a very special oil here called MCT oil. And this is a fantastic oil for burning fat. You can add this to your meals. It will help with weight loss. So this is a great oil. And some of the natural occurring fats in things like this grass-fed steak here. So it has some good natural fats. It's a high quality steak, so this is some good fat in here. So these are some of the healthy fats, and we can essentially start to combine these into meals. I could have a steak with a sweet potato with a little bit of avocado. That would be a great meal. Or I could do some brown rice with some chicken with a little bit of olive oil dressed on some side of mixed greens. So my point here in the first key point when talking about food is that we need to get you to start to build what we call perfect plates, where around half of your plate is filled with any kind of veggie you love. So in this case, some salad mix is incredibly convenient. Just take a handful, put it on the plate, some good salad, or if you like other green veggies like some broccoli, asparagus, cauliflower not being green, but another great veggie. Half of your plate, make it veggies. A quarter of it, take one of those go-to proteins, put it on, and a quarter of it, put some of those healthy carbs on there. And then the fats, they work their way in through the olive oil that you might put on the veggies or some of the natural fats in the meat. Perfect plates are huge because when you have perfect plates, then you can space those throughout the day, roughly every 4 hours. So you might have a perfect plate for breakfast at around 8, and then you might have another perfect plate for lunch around noon, then you'll have maybe a snack around 3 p.m. and dinner around 7, 8 p.m. So we're roughly having these meals spaced out every 3 to 4 hours, which is optimal for keeping your blood sugar stable, your hunger levels down, and keeping your metabolism, in a good, healthy range where you're not overeating by having 6 small meals throughout the day, but you're not starving yourself either. So that's a really good starting rule of thumb for most people that I recommend, is getting these go-to foods identified and then setting a meal timing in stone. Now, if you're just getting started with us, your first time here at the Fit Father Project, the best thing you can do right now is to download our free one-day meal plan that lays all of this out throughout the day with exact recipes, and it's gonna be an even deeper dive from what we're going here. That's where I recommend you start. So there's links below this video on how you can get started on that. So definitely check that out either now or after this video. So now that we've kind of identified some of our go-to foods and some of the meal timing, we need to talk about constructing this into an overall plan that you can have throughout the week. So the first thing we want to do is we want to buy some of these go-to foods in bulk, so you're prepared and you know what to do throughout the week. So you don't have to think about this stuff, because when I've bought my go-to proteins, carbs, and fats, they're prepped, they're in the kitchen, they're in the fridge. I don't have to think about healthy eating anymore. I kind of made the decision on Sunday, and then the meal prep is done, so it makes it a lot easier to stick to a healthy diet. Now, the next thing is we also want to give ourselves a proactive free meal every single week, or as people like to say, a cheat day. But I don't like to use that language because the cheat day makes it sound like you're doing something bad, when in fact, it's really a good part of any best diet for men, is that we have built-in times where you're gonna be able to enjoy some foods you like. So for me, it's either Friday night or Saturday night. I know I have one meal every single week where I can have whatever the hell I want. If I want pizza, I want a burger, I want a ton of sushi, whatever it is, I can have that. And then the rest of the day, the week I should say, stays more regimented. So it's another key principle, is we want to build in these free meals into the diet. And the next thing is we want to stay incredibly hydrated. So I have a mason jar here, and I like to fill this up at least 1.5 of these every single day, ideally 2. This is around 64 ounces. I fill it up with some high quality filtered water. I'll put some lemon in there or a little pinch of sea salt, and I drink this throughout the day. This is gonna help you keep you energized, nice and full. And this, coupled with these foods, is gonna give you a great starting point for the best diet for men. So to kind of sum up, without making this a huge video, because we cover a lot of this stuff in that free one-day meal plan that I recommend you get, is that the best diet is the one that's simple and sustainable. The one that helps you control your calories, like how we've talked about with the proper, meal timing spaced out off roughly every 4 hours with the right kinds of foods, and helps you enjoy your life without feeling restricted, and has high quality foods just like these in your diet, and it has a preparation ritual in there, so you don't have to really spend a ton of time trying to figure out what to eat every single day. You made that decision ahead of time. And again, if this is your first time here at the Fit Father Project, I am so happy to have you here. I highly recommend you get that free one-day meal plan. Join our email list, because for every guy that joins and gets a free one-day meal plan, we give you a 3-day e-course where we cover all the fundamentals of nutrition with the proper recipes, all the videos, and all the stuff you need to know to get started in healthy eating. In fact, a lot of our guys who just go through our free e-course lose 5 to 10 pounds just from using and implementing our tips. So I know you're really gonna find that useful. So check that out, and also scroll below and you can check out the full article associated with this video. It's gonna give you a lot of extra tips. Thanks for being here, my friend. We're the Fit Father Project, the health experts for busy fathers and men over 40, and I'm glad you found us.